Hey, good morning. Guys, Lorna joined. Yanarong, will you be able to share your screen with this consolidated list of options we were discussing this morning?
Hello.
Yeah, can you share the Confluence page?
Okay, sure.
So, Rolly, do you want to provide a short summary or do you want me to do so? I'm okay with either way. But I think
you can go ahead, no problem.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So, Jarvis, I think, and Barbara as well, I think we were having our initial discussion maybe a week ago as regards the possible solutions when it comes to this second authorization of the user. We had an internal alignment this morning as well with the APCP colleagues and with the platform architecture from ACM on our end. Before, I would say that we are not here to tell you that, okay, we are going in this direction, because we still have a few technical questions that we would like your input in. And then based on that information that you provide, we will make a final decision. I hope that is okay with you. Also, you can see the shared screen at the moment. The main option, I would say,
I don't see the screen. I don't know.
No?
Mm-mm.
There should be a code.
I just see it loading, but actually nothing.
No, in my case, I am seeing Barbara, the screen.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
I don't know.
Maybe a connectivity issue on your side. I think.
Try again. I don't know.
Okay. Now, because it's
No.
visible.
No, sorry.
Okay.
Do you want to try and re-log in, maybe reconnect?
No.
Could be.
No, it is. I can see that now.
Okay, perfect. Good. So the main conclusion from our end is that ideally we would go with option number 2, so this single item authorization service. But nevertheless, we have a few concerns or a few questions to raise there. And the main, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but if we go in this direction, this service, in order to first, let's say, APCP to call Allianz Seguros and validate for each contract if the user has access or not, this service is already in place for Allianz Seguros, correct? So it's not a service to be built by scratch.
No, I think it's not done. Lourdes, can you?
No, it's done. The service to see that it's possible that it's missing some parameters. We can discuss about the parameters, because if you can look for a plate or you can look for a contract, it's possible to add some parameters. But the service is done. We have a service that gives true or false.
And is it exposed in APG? Because that was necessary also.
Yes and not, because it's exposed by your other team and we have to make a change with the other team. But in 2 weeks we can, or in 1 week, we have to make some change with other teams, because it's a regional service and we have to public in a local way.
Yeah, you have to put the BFI and everything.
Exactly.
I mean that's
Exactly.
so. And with the thing with the third-party token and all that stuff.
Yeah, but we have it. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
so the there, we would like to understand what could be, or let's say, based on your production information, if you guys could provide us with the expected SLA here or the uptime, because the thing is that if we can expect the service to be, I don't know, up to 1 second, maybe then this is a good, let's say, a good direction. But if the user has to wait every time that it tries to access a new contract, I don't know, 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds or more, then this for sure is not the right way to go. So do you guys have any figures, any numbers that could provide us in order for us to understand what is the response time here on this service?
Do you are asking about our performance, the performance in Allianz about the service, no? If I understand correctly.
No, I'm asking, yes, in a way, I'm asking in order to understand a little bit better this service that you guys already have in place and are using, I suppose, in different applications.
Yes.
If you already have some figures that you can provide us in terms of the expected response time, what response time could we expect when we are calling your service?
Okay, it's a service online that our agents are not using the same, but our agents or IPAC agents are using from. So okay, I can give you some numbers about one. In production, I can give you some numbers about one service that it's very similar, but it's not the same. About our servicing, but we are talking an online service. I don't know. It's a REST service. It's an APG, it's REST. I understood that it's only with a few parameters I'm going to respond you true or false. So, okay, I can give you the numbers, but I understood that it's a optimized process, but okay, I can give you I don't know, how many milliseconds.
That would be great if you guys can confirm, because overall, in this direction, it's very important that we ensure that the end user experience is up to par.
But at the end, the end users is an IPAC users, no?
Yes, but also
don't worry, because at the end the problem will be in our side, no?
Yeah,
I mean,
but we
or user, no?
Don't want to make your agents, wait for like 3 seconds every time they want.
But this is the clue, no? I don't know exactly what we have to test is the end to end. I mean, I have the service, I can test myself, but I think the clue is to make a test with you. I think this is the end to end, no? From your portal you call, I have the response and I give you to you. I suppose what is important is this end to end, not only our call, no? Is what I understood, because it's possible that I don't know, my REST will be very fast, but I don't know if when you call, I don't know, in your server or whatever.
Yes, of course. But so this is the information that we do not have. We do not have the insight into the response time of the service that we will use from Allianz Seguros. So this is why I'm asking for the specific input. But okay, let's assume for now, so that we can continue our discussion. Let's assume that here we have a really good, let's say, response time. You can provide some numbers based on the performance in production. Then the other question becomes, so from a functional perspective from your side, so what would be the expected behavior if this service fails, or if we get a timeout? So would we then deny access to the user by default when the user is trying to access a different contract? So what's the fallback scenario here?
Yeah, the fallback scenario, and they close the portal and return to entry. You mean a timeout, no? That you call and it's blocked? No. They have to close. And or to return to try. But we cannot have any behavior by default.
Okay, but so that means that we are practically denying access to the user, even though we haven't really made sure that this user has no access to the policy. He's trying to see. Okay, this is good. And another question that we want to understand a little bit is, because I think also Barbara, you just mentioned, is the search that the APAC user is going to do in APCP always going to be done via the contract number, or do we also expect that the user can search via different items or parameters like the claim number or some other?
Okay. The idea is that you in the portal have a screen to make this kind of search. The idea is to allow to the user to do the same search that you have in your screen. But here is a point that we can discuss, no? Because imagine that in your portal, I don't know, you have the combination with plate and date, and other combination with contract and claim Allianz partner. Here our idea, that is the point that I say at the beginning, that is possible that is missing some parameters of search, but the idea is to allow the user to do the same search that he can do in the Allianz portal, no? In the first screen, in the main screen of search. I think they can search by contract, I see by plate, by claim number, of course. So it's allow the same parameters. But here if we have go, sorry.
No, sorry to interrupt you, but so that means that we are also able, so via this Allianz Core service, we're also able to determine if the user has access or not based on these different search parameters. So even if they are not using the contract, because I understood, and I'm sorry, maybe I don't have the full picture, but I understood that when on APAC side, the user matrix is this contract portfolio concept in the sense that, I don't know, agent A has access to contract 1 to 10. So if you search, or if the agent searches in APCP via the plate number or the claim number, we are still able, so Allianz Seguros is still able to retrieve a positive or negative, let's say, result if the user has access or not, correct? So on APCP, okay. Then, but this point is mostly for Rolly and the APCP colleagues. I think this point we were discussing on the APCP side, that when if we have to have the result of the user having access to a specific policy during the search function, it becomes relevant, no? The point that Peter was making.
But here, for example, in this point, we can open a discussion. I mean, if, for example, we begin the project, I don't know, only to allow from the portal the sales, I don't know, but plate and only with claim, okay. We can open this discussion because the user I think is going to make an agreement, and in the future to create a more search. This can be also a good approach, or not, or to begin with all the fields, fine also, But here we can review. It's not a problem.
Okay, so you are open to considering as the MVP, let's say, only search by contract number and then extend it later.
Exactly.
Okay, let me see if there was any other point we had to make it. Rolly or Yana, did we have any other points here? So expected response time, fallback scenario, we said that we deny access. Okay. Good. I think that these were the main points that we had to ask on this option. Then the second option that we consider to be the better direction, if we are not going with the signal item authorization, is this batch synchronization, meaning that, let's say, Allianz Seguros is sending daily the full list of.
But you have to delete this, because from legal perspective we cannot send this information.
That was my question. My first question to ask you. Okay. So
yes, our legal department say that we can send all the information, but we cannot send exactly every agent what is the business that they have on our company. We cannot send this information.
So this is a really good point I wanted to ask, because one thing, as you say, is to share access, yes or no, and another thing is to share the entire catalog of, users and
exactly
policies. Okay, so then this option we can scratch. So there's no point to discussing it. Then the other option that is remaining, but the truth is that we are not too optimistic about this other option, because it has kind of the same risks as let's say this first option, but Anyways, let's look into it. So here the concerns that we have if we are asking and retrieving the entire list of policies that is assigned to a specific user, again, the response time becomes a concern. Maybe we can, let's say, allow for a little bit of longer response time because, of course, the results that we're retrieving are much larger. But it does not really, let's say, improve overall the solution because we need to store or we need to cache all of this information on the APCP side. Let me see, just 1 second. One question that I would just ask if we go in this direction, so if we retrieve all of the policies at once, so we would need to keep this list of policies, let's say, cached or available only for as long as the session is active, right? Because also legally, I suppose I don't know actually if we can keep this information for longer or if we would need to keep it for only as long as the session of this user is active.
You mean imagine that a user navigate, I don't know, between 3 or 4 contracts. You mean to maintain this information in the session, no? In order not to return to call to our service. This is what.
Yeah.
What was.
So if we go for this option 3 here, agent portfolio service, we said once the agent is trying to access, I don't know, contract B, then Allianz Seguros is going to return in the response the full list of policies that the agent has access to. So I'm just asking if this,
No. But we are not going to send any contract. We are going to send false or true.
But yes, but this
we cannot send information about the list of contract for each agent. We are going to send you a service false or true. Okay?
This one is clear, but then maybe didn't we discuss the option 3 here where you guys would build a new service from scratch where we could retrieve the full list of policies that the agent is assigned to?
But this is the legal point that we cannot do it.
Okay, so also this option is not...
It's not possible. This is the problem, that we cannot send the business for each agent. That is the point. So that is the point that the only thing that we can do is to have a service to say that if we are low or not, and also only to refresh to you. Here, the persons that can access to the Allianz portal, or Allianz Partner portal, are employees and agents, okay? For the employees, for example, that can be the most common users, you cannot have to call to anything because we are going to send you the role is an employee. So if the role is an employee, it's a central employee, no? You cannot have to call to our service. They can navigate. But if the role is an agent or a broker is when we have to call to the service. So no, in all the times we are going to call to the service. Also to put this on mind. Because the person who can access are agents and employee. The employee can navigate with all the contracts, all the plates. It's only for the agents, this service.
I understand, yeah. But then I don't know why we missed this point the last time because we could have saved, I think, ourselves a little bit of time. So if we say that legally speaking, there is no way that Allianz Seguros can provide either the full set of, the full catalog of users.
I think in the last week, I think I mentioned this point of legal. I think I mentioned, but it's possible that I forget it.
Then if you did, I missed it. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, I recall that you actually said it last time.
Okay, but this doesn't mind. I prefer to talk.
And the rework of us saying that it was single item was because given that limitations. In fact.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, but then that makes our life a bit easier in the sense that option 1 and 3 are out of scope, just because legally we are not allowed or able to. So then we focus on option 2, which honestly was our preferred option either way. So we then just expect or wait for you guys to provide us some insights a little bit on the response time of the service that we are going to use, so that we have a fair understanding of what to expect. And also, maybe Anarong, I don't know if you already captured it, but we said that the fallback scenario would be, denying access to the user and closing the session, maybe even like a pop-up notification that says please retry or whatever. But functionally speaking, that we are by default denying access if we have if we have an error or out of time situation. Good. Did we have anything else? I'm checking all my notes, but I don't think I missed anything on the second option. I don't know, Roger.
I think we already covered every point.
Yeah, same for me. We already covered.
Perfect. Then, any concerns or questions from our Allianz Works colleagues or considerations?
Okay, from my part, the only point that is still, well, I don't know, a little bit open, is the point that we talk about the parameters, and not to review the screen of the search in order to know in the service where are the entry parameters that you can call in order to give you the allow, true or false to allow or not. For me, this is a thing that we have to review together, or do your analysis and review. It is okay for us. And also, yes, in the first connection, in the first point that we don't talk, to review which are the parameters that you need. For example, we talk here about the role, no? It's a person that is going to call to have authorizations to the Allianz partner in the first call, and here we have to ensure that you have all the information that you need, for call to or service. For example, the role, that I mentioned, if the person, the role is an employee, you don't need to call or service in the second time, but if not an employee, you have to call to review this information that you have to have previously on your system. Is to finish this. For me, there are these 2 points, the parameters, I mean.
Yeah. For the parameters part, I think that we maybe come back to you. So, as we said, we go with the assumption that for now, as part of the MVP, we start with the contract number search. But then I think APCP colleagues have to have a little bit, because I personally don't have a clear look of the user interaction on APCP. I don't know, for example, if the user wants to check a new contract, if they go and enter the specific contract on APCP, or if they just, I don't know how the search engine or search function looks like, but maybe to keep in mind to consider, if this direct, or if this let's say a search functionality, how it is working in APCP, and how having to request access for each policy going to impact the behavior. So this is one thing. And then the other thing, I think based on this analysis, then we can come back to Allianz Seguros and let them know which parameters we might need to extend for the search. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Good. Okay, guys, I think that we have a clear direction, and now it's a matter of refining the details a little bit, so we can for sure have some discussions back and forth, but finally I think we're set with option number 2. If nobody has any last words or concerns, then maybe we can take back the rest of the session.
Yeah, I do have a quick question. Where are you on the IDP Federation? Because the last news I had was the proof of concept by Isam, but nothing else.
When you say you mean Allianz Technology?
No, you have to federate to our IDP. I mean that you made a proof of concept that you were able to connect. It was Isam, actually, the other team that were before you. And I don't know if you are doing any movements on that side, because that's where I'm actually useful for you with the IDP Federation.
Okay, So I think we checked the connectivity with the SAML and using the certificate. So that was the POC we did, and it was successful. That we are able to connect. Now for the implementation, I think maybe you can gather some information, and maybe we'll try to create the technical ticket for that. And see what are the missing things. For the JOT token, I think the one which we decided for the initial positioning and extra user attribute, this is the first time we are going to consider this one. So we will gather all this information, what we needed for this, and maybe we'll contact you while creating the tickets. Anything else too on your side which you want to know now?
No, that's it. Okay, I guess you let us know when you are able to move on with those parts. Okay.
I'm not sure about the SS4 part. But from what I know is that in our team we do the POC to make sure that the connection is success or not, right? But I'm not sure that what do you expect from our team to do next.
Establish the official connection, because I know there was a proof of concept. They told me that they weren't installing this federation anywhere, that they were just testing from their machines. But I don't know.
Do you want to?
I mean, you move forward with the data we sent you to make the connections, and if you are stuck somewhere else, you ask for support. But if you are autonomous in this regard, then it's okay for me. I mean, because the last news I had is that you just were able to make the connection with like a test filter you developed for the IDP Federation, but not an official setup. So there's that, and maybe if you actually set up a connection in development, integration, or whatever environment, we can just test to go back and forth to the application and see if it actually works. The single sign-on, because it's a single sign-on also.
So yeah. I think so you mean going forward with the implementation, right? So we can I think from our side we have to provide the link, and once they integrate, then they integrate, and in the meantime we can have from our side we can create a technical ticket to have the SSO for those users, so it comes from the EPAC system, and then we will check what are the missing technical things that is still required, if anything, or we are good with this authentication process.
Yeah, because I mean, the three points can be done in parallel. I mean, you can set up the IDP Federation, which is only just a user login. Then the initial position and JOT token can go in another, process, and then the single item service, single item validation service can go in a third part. So there's a lot of work that we can do in parallel just to make sure that the whole solution is, I mean, if you are, I think you are already able to move forward, I mean, from our point of view, because you have all the information from the IDP to try to set up the federation. At least in non-production environments, you can give us a link to the application so we can see if we can do an integrated test in that regard. And then the rest of the parts, we can add layers, Now you have the IDP Federation, now you have the JOT token with the positioning information, and now you have the, different I don't know how to say, in different episodes. You have different parts of the solution implemented, so we can move forward faster.
Okay. So the first part, in my understanding, we expect that user should be able to land to the portal successfully.
What?
We expect the user, EPEC user to land onto the portal successfully.
Yes, just to learn. I mean, even if you don't have the step 2 and step 6 information, just if the user is able to reach the APCP portal and the APCP portal to request the IDP single sign-on and everything as a service provider, that's one step, one huge thing we will have unblocked, and done. And we know, okay, we can reach the application, just that. Then we add the rest of the layers.
Okay, so I think we can divide first only the authentication process with the IDP, just launch it, and the second step we can add the JOT token authorization and initial position.
Okay, and then you are going to be working on the last part, which is the single item validation. But I just suggest we attack the different parts of this design so we can validate each of the steps in parallel maybe, and we will be faster. Okay, so if you need any support, I think you have all the information regarding the IDP metadata and everything. Okay, you may use that for the non-productive environments if you want to test with us, and then you send us a link, and so Lourdes can request a link to be set up in the non-productive environment, so we have a VPN connection established, right? I assume between APCP and Allianz Ibero-LATAM. I think we do have to anyone who can answer. I have my understanding is that we have a VPN connection established between the two parts. That you are able to see our non-productive network, right?
Yeah, we test the connection successfully, but I can't remember which one. But it should be the non-production, but we'll check it again. And
that would mean you have the VPN active, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to reach our IDP. So in non-production, okay, that's perfect. So you can move on and set up the non-productive.
Yeah, we'll recheck again just to refresh everything again, and if we have any difficulties, we'll reach out to you.
Perfect. Okay. The ticket where Isan was doing the tests of the IDP Federation are in the document we sent you, okay? I referenced it, I think.
It's okay, we have it in our Jira board as well. Check it.
Perfect, thank you. That's it. Okay.
Okay, so from so now the action points on our side, we'll provide the link, and we will test this. We will start integrating with the SSO, the connection IDP. To answer the authorization, we have to look for the different search criteria, right? What we have initially. So you want some information regarding that. And is there any other point which I'm missing here?
No, I think that's it. So also the response time figures from your production, but that should be it for now.
From Segura's side, okay.
Segura's, yeah.
just thinking like if everything is good, then
I think from our side, no, from Allianz Technology, Barbara or Carlos, all the points we discussed, no, we don't have anything to add, no, to the call.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so from our side, it's fine.
Good. Then thank you guys. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.